it's Bread Riches from runforefoot.com, and today I wanted to touch on why exactly I started my blog, runforefoot.com, which is a website about forefoot running, and I basically talk about all the positive things that the scientific literature says about forefoot running, and I contrast that to all the negative things that the literature says about heel strike running. And of course, heel strike running is a running style utilized by the majority of recreational runners. However, a lot of the elite runners run with a non-heel strike landing, and most of these runners run with a forefoot strike landing. And I'm talking about professional runners at the sprinting level, as well as a top marathoners in the world typically don't heel strike, they run with a forefoot strike. I started my blog, and also on my blog I talk a lot about barefoot running and why barefoot running is a very powerful tool to help you correct your heel strike and help you attain and develop a efficient forefoot strike landing. So I started my blog, Run Forefoot, as part of a sustained effort to keep the minimalist movement going and the barefoot running movement going, because I believe that the minimalist running movement sort of lost momentum a little after Born to Run, and I think it's because a lot of runners didn't fully understand that they needed to land with a forefoot strike. And Christopher McDougall impressively details that it's not always about barefoot versus shod running, or shod meaning running in shoes, but rather healthy running, injury-free running, is about forefoot strike versus heel strike. So fundamentally speaking, how your foot interacts with the ground really determines whether or not you get injured. And another reason why I started my blog too was to break down the psychological barrier that running is very health harming. A lot of people out there think that running is the worst thing you can do. The more you run, the more you're going to damage your knees and hips, and sooner or later you'll need a knee replacement. And this is one of the reasons that motivated me to dedicate my life to forefoot running and helping other runners realize and aspiring people to run if they knew the true difference between injury-free running and injury-causing running. And this is one of the reasons that motivated me to start my blog and to blog tremendously about the health benefits of forefoot running, is to convince people that, hey, running isn't dangerous if you run this way, and if you are very cautious of how your foot interacts with the ground, then you can definitely run for the rest of your life without getting a lot of the severe injuries that we see a lot of runners getting, most of which these runners are heel strike runners. And another motivating factor which prompted me to start my blog, Run Forefoot, is due to the unprecedented avalanche of bad reports in the scientific literature with respects to heel strike running, as well as running in regular cushion running shoes. And based on my experience alone and my observations, I actually think that cushion-heeled running shoes, which is typically the standard running shoe in the market, that these types of running shoes are the signature problem as to why a lot of runners are heel striking, because the research has explained in detail that when you run in a traditional running shoe, when your heel is elevated due to underheel padding, this orients the foot in a way that facilitates and encourages a heel strike landing. This is one of the reasons why the traditional running shoe is a standard barrier for good performance and for preventing injury. Another motivator for my website is to discuss how barefoot running is the best weapon in correcting your heel strike landing, as well as to helping you develop a very adequately sound forefoot strike landing that prevents injury. And also through my blog, as well as my YouTube channels, I want to share my experience as well as my enthusiasm from learning forefoot running and how much it's benefited me, and how heel strike running is very consequential from my viewpoint. Basically, through this platform, I hope to change the attitudes based on the perceived notion that running is extremely bad for you. And I want to keep momenting the barefoot running / minimalist running movement by addressing the dangers of heel strike running head on. And based on the scientific evidence alone, it's very hard to deny how forefoot running is less injurious due to less impact that's produced when you run with a forefoot strike. So that's why I'm very dedicated to helping improve the understanding of reasons why foot strike is very foundational when it comes to preventing injury, in my opinion, and with my experience, and based on my perspective of having been a heel strike runner who converted to forefoot running, I can definitely attest to the fact that foot strike is everything when it comes to injury prevention as well as running economy, running performance. And I really want to help people know the science behind why heel strike running is very detrimental to your health and why forefoot strike running abolishes a lot of the detrimental impact forces that crushes the knee and injures the hip and causes back pain as well. And I would like to help runners get there, meaning get to a better place that's injury-free without going in the wrong direction, simply by reinforcing the fact that most running injuries can be traced pretty much in a direct straight line to heel strike running and not so much forefoot running. So when it comes to running, you have every reason to be hopeful. I have confidence that forefoot running will definitely take you there and will help you pursue more PRs and avoid unnecessary setbacks like injury. All in all, my blog and my YouTube channel is to help heel strike runners transition more smoothly to forefoot running by avoiding many common mistakes that a lot of transitioners runners make. And then when they make the wrong transition choices, they develop a skeptical eye about the whole purpose of forefoot running. And a lot of runners sadly resort back to heel strike running in their thickly cushioned running shoes where they continue to struggle with injury. For more information about forefoot running versus heel strike running, please head on over to my blog, runforefoot.com, where you'll also find lots of tips about barefoot running as well as the health benefits of barefoot running. And to stay updated on all the latest research regarding running and barefoot running, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have fun out there on the roads. Bye for now.